Hello, James Noriega here from the Lights Home Ministry, where we're on mission to help equip the church to bring back counseling, which is rightfully hers. And we're going to release a weekly video talking about how we go about doing that. And not just the method, but the theology and philosophy behind our ministry. Today, I'd like to talk about how to biblically approach shame. Shame is probably one of the biggest predators against man and the believer today. We see that it was first introduced at the fall. That's the first thing that Adam and Eve experienced was shame. They hid themselves. They put sewn fig leaves to hide their bodies, and they hid from God. And even God's first words were, "Who told you you were naked?" And so, how do we see shame? What is the really undertone to shame? Well, shame, I believe, is nakedness, seeing you as you are, and it has the connotation of filth. And we see that everything that they were throwing at Jesus at the cross was to shame him. But in Hebrews it says he scorned shame. So what does scorn shame mean? Well, it means basically that shame was to no avail. That even though that's what they wanted to do, the whole epicenter of the cross was to shame him. Beaten, declothed, naked, a crown of thorns, and hung what would be equivalent to a mall parking lot. So they threw everything they could at him to shame him. But in Isaiah 50, verse 6 and 7, it's in a messianic prophecy. It says that I gave my back to those who beat me. I gave my bodies to those who spit on me. I gave my face to those who plucked out my beard, and I was never disgraced or shamed. So how is it that they couldn't shame Jesus? Because he knew who he was. Now, in the same way, we have been invited into the story of God. We have been clothed with the righteousness of Christ. We have been given a new heart, a new identity that is Christ. And so we too have to know who we are. It says in Romans that my people will not be put to shame. So I really believe that the Bible tells us that there's no shame in the believer. Now, I'm not saying that there's not something we're struggling with or wrestling with, but we have to, in the same way Christ did, and what they did to him, they couldn't shame him. We have to understand who we are. And we spend a lot of time trying to clothe ourselves and cover ourselves with our own things to hide, when we really are perfect in the sight of God. Yes, we still sin. But we cannot filth what God purified, if you will. You cannot make dirty what Jesus washed away clean, no matter what the world throws at you. Now, I know that's a big deal, but I wish that you could take a time today and ask, God, how is it that I feel shame, but you tell me I'm not? And I pray today that you would see who you are as a purified believer of Christ, and know and rejoice that there is no shame.